Welcome back. It is Sports Central. And my name is Vladimir Kim. Funny thing, October David, still with me for company. And we're ready for the talking point in the world of football. Football, here we go. And let's begin the conversation from our home side. Definitely, Akwa United was Matchday 18. The last game of Matchday 18. And Akwa United had to host Heartland Football Club. Both teams struggling trying to find a balance in the Nigerian Premier Football League. Before this match, Akwa United were bottom of the Nigerian Premier Football League. Quite disastrous. After the sack of the coach, many were hoping change of fortune gets to happen, and definitely did. Akwa United got a better of the opening in this one to massive 0. Well, goals coming both halves. First of all, it was a penalty. Benjamin, Victor, and Ebuka Nwokwachi being culprits in that one. But we're talking about a first goal being secured for them, and Endurance Ebedeberi scoring for them, while Chijoke Olakwe also adding the second for them. Well, funny thing, I'll start with you now. You've really been so sad about the situation of Akwa United. A better performance, you must say. And Imoko and the guys, the board, are doing the work you want them to do.
Definitely. For me, I was always particularly about changing the man at the helm of affairs, because it definitely brings a breath of fresh air. We saw that in this particular match. The players had more freedom to do what they know how to do, because I knew the players could not be just so bad that they were dropping points at home. Come on, we are not the worst of the worst in the Nigerian Premier Football League this season, so you cannot tell me that we were so bad to be dropping points at home to some very minnow teams in the NPFL. So it was good to see a convincing performance. It was not just a victory for me, it was a convincing performance. Got a goal in the first half, got a goal in the second half, won both halves. That's how you get a result at home, not just relying on the 90th minute winner. Chijoke Alakwe continuing his fine scoring streak for this particular team. And you begin to ask question, why was he being benched under Manusman Papaganaro? So I'm beginning to like what I'm seeing with the team here, and hopefully in next matches to come we'll see definitely more and improved performances from the boys here.
Well, Otuoda and Funas talked about being convinced by the performance. You convinced by the performance, something to look forward to, a change for Akwa United moving forward. Definitely we'll talk about Emmanuel Monike and the struggles also with Heartland Football Club, but good victory you must say on the night. Is it one that signals a new situation for Akwa United?
Well, a change of attitude, I must say, but of course I can't really say whether we can actually see this on a consistent basis, because we'll have to look forward to the next game. Will there be a repeat of this same attitude, the same performance, the same approach by the boys? I think that's where the conversation would be. But I think this is a breath of fresh air, just like Fon have talked about. And I feel, of course, the boys can just also continue from this particular game. A Heartland FC side, a quality side, I must say, one of the most improved sides we've seen in the last 5 games under the tutelage of the man Emmanuel Amonike. So I must commend the boys with this particular performance. And I just hope they also, improve on here and try to do more of what we saw just yesterday at the Nest of Champions.
Well, a fit victory for Akwa United in the Nigerian Premier Football League, and all victories have come at home at the Gospel Akwa International Stadium. Akwa United position 17 in the lock at the moment. 19 points have gathered in 18 games. It's that consequential. Look at the concluding part of the Nigerian Premier Football League. Plateau United, bottom of the lock. And for Heartland Football Club, the position 18 still in the lock. They have 21 points. Akwa United now 19 points. It's a conversation. And one many would say definitely could be an improved performance from the side moving forward. Let's quickly talk about some side that we're not so sure whether it's an improved performance or not. But it would be the home base Super Eagles of Nigeria landed Lagos, a return from Accra to Lagos after competing with Ghana national team, Ghana home base Galaxies, they call them the Galaxies of Ghana. Well, the game ended 0-0 at the end of it. A second leg will be taking place on Saturday at the Gospel Akwa International Stadium. Good projection to look forward to. Well, we'll tell David, I'll start with you in this one before Fun gets to come in it. Home base Super Eagles, last time that I couldn't qualify because of Ghana. First leg, Ghana defeated them 2-0. That was 2019 thereabout, 2022 rather. Ghana defeated them 2-0. Second leg, they got that victory 2-0, went to penalty shootout and lost to Ghana. And now it seems like something we've seen before. Last time the Super Eagles needed to go to walk of a similar situation. They went to Ghana, played a 0-0, a draw, came back to Nigeria, ended 1-1, and Ghana qualified to the World Cup. You think this team can change the narrative against Ghana?
A difficult, of course, situation, I would say, for the Super Eagles B team, because it throws it wide open now. Both sides have 50-50 chance of progression owing to what will happen at the Nest of Champions on Saturday. But I want to draw, of course, some level of optimism from what we saw in the very first game against the Ghanaian counterpart. First of all, I talked about what could count for the Super Eagles B team. Preparation and, of course, the quality of selection meted up by the two coaches who've been saddled with that responsibility. Thirdly, this particular game will play at the Nest of Champions, and I expect massive turnout. I expect the fans to, cheer the boys to victory in this one. I don't feel, of course, what we saw in the last few editions of the qualifiers will be what we'll be seeing at the Nest of Champions for the second leg. I feel the Super Eagles B team understand the very fact that they need an outright victory to qualify for the Chan tournament proper. And of course, I believe the boys can actually do it. Fidelis Lechukwu is there, Dan Lugumbo they stay. Arguably two of the best coaches we have at the moment. They have to get that job done. And I'm quite optimistic that it will be done as well.
Many optimism from Mutuba David, hoping that they get a job done in that direction. We're here. The 8th African Nations Championship will be hosted by Tanzania, Kenya, and Uganda. And it spans February 1st to 28th of February 2025. It will be a conversation. And funny enough, just a quick one in this one now. When you look at these particular games, the Chan competition is all about home-based players that are playing at their country. Okay. And I've always thought about it, going to be more competitive if it's all about home-based players playing in Africa, not necessarily their country. Yeah,
I think that would be more interesting. I've also thought about that in recent times. In fact, there have been calls from several quarters to also include players who are playing in Africa, because we're talking about Chan. It's about an African-based kind of league now. So we have to bring players who still reside in Africa to bring them to play for their countries.
Yeah.
So I think it would be more interesting.
Because now, not to interrupt your thought, if you look at it, Northern Africa seems to be dominant in Chan competitions, and the best of Africa is going to that league.
Exactly.
Best of other countries are going to that league.
Absolutely.
But when it's time for the tournament, don't return to play for that country. And while not Africans are having, because they have a better league, they're having that best footballers participate in it.
Definitely. So I think it's actually going to be better. But what can we do? We already have the formats for the Chan ongoing here, and I think it's going to continue this way till we can maybe get someone to come and make a maybe, how would I call it now, make a reform at the moment. But at the moment we have what we have at the moment, and we should work with that.
We should work with that, but always going to be postulation when it has to do with this one. And the question would be, should we go for or against just home-based players playing in that country, or home-based players playing all around Africa, returning to the different countries to compete? Would it be more competitive for Chan competition?